We got something new in the mail today, Floppycatters. These come from Chewy.com, could you tell? Inside are 2 litter boxes that I ordered. They were not sent to us for review, but I wanted to try them out, see if I could help some Floppycatters. We used to have a litter box that was very similar to this from Petco years and years ago, but they discontinued them or something. They're no longer made. And I really like high-sided litter boxes. Luckily, my cats don't pee standing up like my parents' cats did. But what high-sided litter boxes are good for is if your cat is prone to like really bury their feces or their urine, which is great. It's nice when they bury it. But if they fling litter like they're throwing confetti, then it can end up being a real problem when it comes to litter scatter. And litter scatter happens because of kind of 3 factors: the height of the litter box, the cat's behavioral tendencies in the litter box, as well as the type of litter. And these are the Frisco 24-inch high-sided cat litter box. My cat Trig, who is in that box now, is 16 pounds. He's fat right now. He's actually lost a little bit of weight. I think he's a little under 16 pounds. But obviously he fits very comfortably in there. He's not going to be sleeping in there. And Frisco is a Chewy brand. So any of the Frisco products you see on Chewy are Chewy branded products. All right, so let's get these set up downstairs and get it ready to go. Step number 1 for me was to remove these decals, and they are not coming off. I know that's annoying you favorably, which is a little on the annoying side. Once upon a time, I sat next to a guy on an airplane, and I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he worked for Rubbermaid. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. What do you do for Rubbermaid? And he said, I actually design the adhesives for the stickers we put on our products so that when you peel them off, they just come off and not like in bits and pieces of this or like this. So I always think about that conversation when there are stickers on products that are difficult to remove, keep coming off in bits like this. And I mean, long ago, I learned to, you pull as close to the adhesive as possible so that you don't have those little tears, but this is definitely an improvement that Frisco could make. So that's a quick pull off. Also, I just noticed that you can minimally fill it to there, and there's like a little line around. Keep an idea of how high to put in the litter. Chiggy's over there waiting for me to stop messing around with this stuff. This is going to be the current setup. I'm going to have this after I clean it. This is a Litter Genie litter box, another one of my favorites. The handles, and it has a pour spout. So I actually just picked that up and poured the remaining litter that was in there, so I can go clean this one upstairs. And then I will mix the old litter with new litter, and then they'll know that it's a safe place to go to the bathroom. My cats are 12 years old. We've been doing product reviews their entire life, so they're used to pretty much any new litter box. They don't really think twice about it. So I won't think they'll have a problem using them, but just wanted to mention that in case you are unfamiliar with new litter boxes and stuff with your cats. Anytime you're introducing a new product to your cat, you always want them to feel involved, and don't tell them to go away, I'm busy, or don't be around. Let them smell. If they are tentative or anything like that, just leave the room. Let them get accustomed to everything and then come back later when they're over, checking it out. A couple of things I thought about while I was cleaning the Litter Genie litter box. You might wonder, why did you get the Frisco ones? Why didn't you get more Litter Genie ones if you like them so much? Really came down to price for me. These are usually around 20 bucks, and when I bought these, I found them on sale for 12. So I wanted to wait to get more of those. So I will replace this one. Long ago, I had an interview with Dr. Elsey, who is the founder of Dr. Elsey's Litter. And he said a litter box should be changed out every year to like 18 months. And the reason why, if you see all those scratches in the bottom of this litter box, what ends up happening is those scratches break the surface of the plastic, and then it invites bacteria to go in there. So over time, your plastic litter boxes really start smelling bad to your cats. So if you're having any litter box usage problems where they're not going into your litter box and you've cleaned it out entirely, maybe use like a tablespoon of vinegar with hot water, then you want to probably look at getting a new plastic litter box, which I will do soon with this. And then what I do is I clean it entirely and then I give it to a shelter, because a lot of times they can use a plastic box like this for other things other than a litter box if they need it. I mean, this is almost like a bucket in a way. So I will squeeze that in between those and tell you more about how I go about doing litter. Dr. Elsey's Ultra is my favorite cat litter. I also like their Cat Attract. The Cat Attract is more expensive. It has herbs in it that naturally attract your cat to use the litter box. So it's a little bit more expensive than the Ultra, and it does come in a 40-pound bag. This is a 40-pound bag, and that's a 20-pound box. But you can also just mix the two, and then if you're, again, unsure if your cat's going to use a litter box, you can put the old litter like I did and the two new ones, and then you can also put a mixture of the Cat Attract and the Ultra to get them to use it. My cats aren't going to have a problem at all using these, but I just wanted to offer these tips to anyone that might not be familiar with cat behavior with litter boxes. The Cat Attract was actually more dusty than I'm used to it when I poured it out, so you can see the dust there on the side of the new litter boxes. And so I put equal amounts in each box, and then I'm gonna pour the Ultra in to fill the rest. And then what I typically do is I'll take our Litter Lifter Litter Scoop, which is the best litter scoop on the face of the planet. I'll link to it below. And spread this around. If it's all brand new litter and everything's new, you can also use your hands if you want. If you liked sand when you were little. If you like sand when you're older. And then they're ready to go. This is gonna be our current litter box situation downstairs. I've got the LitterLocker cat disposal bin there. A reader told me about this little command hook to hold my litter lifter on the side. The LitterLocker is not sold in the United States, but actually the Litter Genie XL is a very similar design. The Litter Genie regular one is not a similar design, and I do not care for it as much, but the Litter Genie XL is, and I'll include a link to our video that explains that. And then these are the Blackhole cat litter mat. Actually, all of that cat litter scatter there was on these flaps of the box when I opened it up. So that's also why I prefer bags, so you don't have to deal with that whole the shenanigans of, you know, you started with a nice clean litter mat and then you dump that in. Or you could always put it inside the litter box, but I don't know where that box has been. So that's another thing, when you're thinking about your cats, everything that they touch with their paws, they're going to clean off. So I don't like putting that in the litter bin, but here I have it on the litter mat, which is they're gonna probably touch that too. Now the reason many of you are familiar with my nasty basement wall and whatnot down here, because you've seen our litter robots, I've temporarily moved them to a different space because we are reviewing this Purrified air filter, and litter robots do a really good job at keeping odor in, at least for us, because I use this clumping clay litter. Litter robots sometimes have issues when you use like a natural corn or wheat litter, because the bacteria and everything loves the waste drawer, and so then it becomes more stinky. But this will allow me to do a better review on the Purrified air filter, which has already done a great job. My sprinkler guy came yesterday to winterize my sprinkler system, so he came, you know, to shut off my water down here, and I was like, hey, can I ask you a question really fast? And he and I have a long history together, and I was like, does it smell like a cat down here to you? And he's like, no. And I was like, great. So that he was the first person I was able to double check to see if the Purrified air filter was working. So I'll include a link to everything if you're interested. I've learned that through the years so that people don't have to go searching for it. I just went upstairs to pick him up, and I'm wearing a puffy down jacket, so all of that static electricity on the back of his coat is from my coat. He doesn't like when I bother him, but apparently the cat attractant is working. Let's just see what he does. I'll pee. Thanks for the new litter box. So that gives you a perspective of a Ragdoll cat in the Frisco litter boxes. And then we'll wait and see what he does covering wise to show you. That's why the high sides are good. See how the litter is flinging against the side of the litter box? That's why I like high-sided litter boxes. Even for cats that don't pee standing up. And then that's why I like a cat litter scatter mat, because did you hear all that came off? Perfect. Now I'll show you how the litter lifter works. I don't typically go in right after they've peed because it can be a little bit wet, but that's also why you want the litter level a certain depth, because then it will collect the pee. So that's why I like the litter lifter. Did you see how fast it picked that up? And then I just dump it in there and it releases down. One last thing before I go, I forgot to mention, I also like to, like I'm playing in sand or something, I like to even that out so that I know that it has been scooped and don't have to tackle it again later. Thank you so much for watching. Please share in the comments what your ideal litter box situation is and why. See if it might help other people. And that's the other thing, is I want to share different litter box setups, because ultimately it comes down to what you want and what your cat likes. So what works for me might not work for you, but hopefully it will give you some ideas. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.